All right, we are live, baby. What's going on, Mr. Colin Thompson? Welcome back. Welcome back, Sam Boners, to another edition of the Sam Boner Show.
Woo!
Another location episode, right? So a little context here. Colin and I have had the pleasure of highlighting different towns along the last, 5-6 months. We've had location episodes, all things Key West, which initiated the location episodes. We've had all things Delco for all you white collar, blue collar workers out there. Give a listen to the Delco episode. Nothing but a ton of fun. We've had all things South Philly. We've had all things Sea Isle, Wildwood, Avalon, Stone Harbor, Cape May. Our last location episode, I believe, was in Annapolis. And here we go. This will be our 9th location episode.
Where are we going?
Why not pay a little homage to one only Colin Thompson's hometown, Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Colin, baby, I'm going to let you lead this one, man. I'm sure it's a very near and dear place to your heart. That said, both Archbishop Wood grads, I've spent tons and tons of nights hanging out in Chalfont, PA, New Britain, PA. Shout out to Sean O'Brien, good friend of mine from back in the day at Wood. One hell of an athlete. Could have played for CB West, but took his talents to Archbishop Wood to become a basketball player.
Damn right.
Dude, we got a lot to talk about here today, buddy.
We do. I don't know where to start. I mean, it's emotional for me because this town allowed me to achieve all my goals in life and beyond. I ran those steps at CB West and ran that field so many times by myself or with my buddies, or, I was still part of the old school era, Mick, that we talk about, where you just we would put it on Facebook, be like, hey, we're going to go throw at CB West today. And then guys would just show up, right? We didn't text people. There was no such thing as group texting. Maybe you would send one and it would go out individually. If I think back, playing at the courts off of CB West there and playing pickup basketball at YMCA with the guys that would get off at work from the noon to 1 o'clock. That's what I grew up doing. Parents were like, go ahead, get on your bike and go in Doylestown, have fun. That's the type of town it was. It is. It means the world to me. Truly, it's a special place.
When you were a kid, right, you were able to witness those CB West glory days.
Yep.
Dave Armstrong, Dustin Picciotti, and it even goes back further than that. I mean,
Mike Carey,
about the legends of Mike Pettin Jr. Yep. There's something to be said about Doylestown as a whole. It's almost that varsity blues type of town. Growing up as a kid, I couldn't believe it. When we were at Wood, CB West was the powerhouse when it came to football, dude.
Tens and thousands of people at their high school football games. They're on the cover of a Wheaties box. They have an ESPN documentary after him. But here's the effect of it, and people don't talk about this enough. They just say, oh, yeah, Eastern PA football is really good. That never was the case. It really wasn't. CB West was always good. And then, the West Coast has, you name it. Every Hall of Famer in the NFL is from, Pittsburgh. So now it's completely flopped, where the suburbs are great. The city's great at Philadelphia, South Jersey. North Jersey's got great football. I think it 100% has to do with what they did at CB West, because in anything in competition in life, right, it breeds more competition. So Neshamity's got to be better. Wood's got to be better. North Penn's got to be better. LaSalle's got to be better, because they got to keep up with West. You got to even get remotely close to them. It made East better. South is now good. So what happens is those players played for Mike Pettin, Mike Carey, all these legendary coaches, Joe Holman, the strength coach, and then they go and take it to another program. That's what happened to us at Wood. Literally the Central Bucks West program, one of the coaches and the strength coach came to Wood with Steve Devlin, and there we go. So, I mean, it's an unbelievable place, like Mick said.
You can't discard, just Delaware Valley College too, right? It's an unbelievable 100%. D3 football college and school.
Great point. Great school in Doylestown, which makes it almost bigger than a town in a way.
I believe Greco is still coaching Del Val. Shout out to Kevin Greco, if I have that right. Shit, don't kill me if I'm wrong. But Southampton guy. The Grecos played Southampton football with us growing up back in the heyday, and now he's holding down Del Val College, and a very strong D3 football school.
Really strong. I've ran those steps many times. I've got on the train there many times and gone down to Temple to work out, or gone down to the city. The New Britain Inn we'll get into here, a great bar right down the tracks. Mike Carey owns it. coached me, and legendary player, coach, All-American at Pitt from CB West.
Duke.
But yeah,
sorry about that. Duke Greco. Shout out to Duke.
Duke, there you go. Hey, everything's excellent. So, I mean, you asked me about Doylestown. I try to explain it for outsiders. You can, white collar, blue collar, come one, come all type of place. Great education, public school, private schools, Upper Bucks County, Lower Bucks County, like all these great places where Mick and I grew up hanging out. Montgomery County is all accessible, New Hope and Peddlers Village and Stockton, and New York City's 2 hours away. Philly's an hour away. It's a great little place to grow up. I can't find a better one. I've tried. You can't.
Let's not leave out New Hope, man. You're right there.
It's a great spot, and we'll get into that. We'll do an episode. It's beautiful, right? So we're so fortunate to be where Mick and I are from, and Doylestown's had a major impact on me as a person, professionally, my family, all local business there. My mom and dad got into business, 2 separate businesses back in the 80s in Doylestown. So I grew up, at all these events and Rotary Club and Doylestown Country Club doing events. And so it's a special place for me, man. And it's great people there. The courthouse is there. There's a lot. It's bigger than a small town. So ton of places to eat and drink, which I think we're going to get into, Mickey. But, and also too, I'll say this, the impact that area has on pro sports, and like how literally the Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, Phillies are like, it's like a big college town for those places. Like almost like a Westchester in a way. Like the Eagles flags are everywhere.
Well, hold on a second. So let's before we dive into some other stuff. But
Penn State, huge Penn State.
Who is the top celebrity to come out of Doylestown? Central Bucks.
Pink.
There it is. I had that too as well. Pink has to be it.
There's a couple. You know what's funny? There's a race car driver, Thompson, like Toyota, Thompson, BMW, like all that. Their son is named Colin Thompson too. And like one point of time, our Wikipedia page, like, because Wikipedia just pulls some articles, and that's how they make the thing. Literally, like our Wikipedia was like mixed together because we're like a year apart. I would say some of the football guys from CB West, Mike Pettin Jr. I mean, he's coached all over the NFL, head coach in the league. There's so many guys, and I'm sure. Here you go, Pink. Justin Otten's a coordinator in the NFL. Well, I mean, the Michener Art Museum too. There's tons of history there. I'm looking at this whole list. There's a lot. There's an interesting group here. That's a great question. Yeah, Pink. I mean, she's taken off, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she's one of the. I mean, she could like, do a Super Bowl. That's how big she is. Anthony Russo's on there. Temple shout out, Doylestown shout out.
There you go.
Colin Thompson, the football player, and Colin Thompson, the race car driver, are on there. Interesting.
Who's Colin Thompson, the football player?
I don't know, some ass hat. But it's a great place to grow up, man. Like you said, like I wanted to play under the lights at CB West. Like when people think I was like recruited to Wood and all this stuff, Joe said he called me and was like, "Hey, if you want to come walk around school, you can." I was like, "Okay." My dad's like, "You should take that opportunity." Like people call you, like that's not really recruiting. Like I'm not lying to you. That's how it went. And I was playing. Shout out to Our Lady of Mount Carmel Romans, baby. Romans football. CYO was changed my life. We wouldn't be talking today if it wasn't for that, Mick. I was playing basketball, like fouling out of games, and like I'll never forget it. Lou Pinella's dad came to my dad and was like, "If Colin wants to play football, he should play with the Romans." I was like, "Okay." Changed my life. A couple of my buddies were going to Wood. Joe said I want to play basketball at East. I thought that was the Mecca. And then here we are in state title and largest margin of victory in Pennsylvania.
I love how you bring up that you were failing out, because I was just talking about my days at OLGC playing hoops. I think I got teed up every single game. I think I was suspended for 3 games at one point.
Were you snapping on refs?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Total hothead.
It
wasn't easy leading the league in scoring. You gotta represent.
Hey, it's not easy. I'll say this too. They've another quote unquote celeb, Ryan Archidiakono, is not from Doylestown, but played for the Romans. We have a bunch of kids. It's a great athletic community, great support. I lived in a lot of communities now through football, and like supporting local kids and school and athletics, like CB West football, which we talk about that a lot, but like that field's open pretty much 24/7. So kids my age are allowed to go out there and run and throw and run the stadiums and run track. And like a lot of these towns now, they close up the stadium. Upper Dublin's open, which is really cool where you're at, Mick. But that's huge. Like allowing that to happen, that has major impact on kids. And I was back there in D-Town meeting with you when we went to Coaches, which we'll get in here in a little bit. A great spot. And you're just like, I'm out by myself in the field running and seeing some old friends. And RIP to the legendary Leo Carey, who I used to see walking around there all the time. He was a huge mentor.
One other cool thing about Doylestown too, and similar to somewhat of my hometown, Ambler, is the regional route system, right? So, everybody loves going into the city, but at the end of the day, you can reverse that. You can grab a regional route out of the city and make your way up to the Amblers and Doylestown's of the world, right?
Yep.
Drop you right off there. You walk into town and you have, the luxury of just, going to a million different options, different bars, different restaurants, different just, steak and hoagie shops, like you said. The bar scene for us, it dates way back. But, when we did turn 21, we spent a lot of time up in, up at the bar scene. And this isn't a Doylestown bar, but like the New Britain Inn, man. The New Britain Inn has been Sam boned. My cousin Mia worked at the New Britain Inn for a long time.
We consider it overall
great sports bar, dude. You've been there, right?
That's on our list. Yeah. I mean, that it's on our list today, and Mike Carey owns it, and it is considered Doylestown. To me, it's Chalfont, New Britain. That's like right there. We kind of did Doylestown surrounding areas. We couldn't do county, guys. Like, we were thinking about doing county. We made the mistake and did Delco. Oh, Nick and I got to talk for 7 hours. I mean, literally, we could have done 7 episodes on them, and we'll probably go back and do Delco again and like do different areas because it's massive. So is Bucks County, right? Little different food scene in Delco. But yeah, man, we can jump into it here. There's
rip off some bars, man. Talk to us about the bar scene, Colin.
Well, you mentioned the New Britain Inn, and that's been a bar of the week on the Colin Thompson Show. But the New Britain Inn, this place, again, it's near and dear to my heart. This is the type of bar, like I've said, many other bars. It gives you a hug when you come in. It's got the TVs on the wall. It has all the crazy selection of beers. I love the specials. Mondays, crab leg. Tuesdays, homemade turkey dinner. Wednesdays, burger night. Thursdays, all-you-can-eat wing night. Friday, they have specials. Saturday, they have prime rib. Like, you can't beat that. Sunday, football on. The place is packed after the West games. Like, it has that feel where you have the locals. You got great happy hour. People are coming out. They're watching pro, college sports there. It's a sports bar, but it's one of those bars now, which we're seeing a ton of, where the food is handcrafted. It's not the old greasy bar food. Yeah, you can get good wings and burgers and all that, but they have like great entrees, healthy options, like an awesome back patio, little tiki bar vibe. The Doylestown train goes by in the woods right there. It's really cool. And then big bar, big dining area. So great parking and super convenient to get in and out. We love the MBI. Mike and his team there and the Carey family are fantastic. And it's been a place near and dear to our hearts. Great bar. Grew up going there on Christmas Eve, hanging out there, with my dad and the buddies. It was before we go home and pick up the big roast from the grocery store in Doylestown. So love the New Britain Inn.
Gotta love a classic dive bar, baby.
Yeah. Next on the list, the Plumbsteadville Pub in Plumbsteadville, Pennsylvania, right across the street from Groveland Elementary. Shout out to John Kelly Butch, Wood graduate, owns the bar. Turned this place around from whatever it was before to what it is now. This place is jumping. It is packed. Ice cold beer. Ice cold beer. Everybody says that, right? No. They literally have the aluminum and the glass bottles in a trough piled high with ice. It makes a difference, folks. It makes a difference. The Plumbsteadville Pub, again, another place that has great high-end bar food. The fresh cut fries, amazing. The wraps are great. The cheese sticks are great. Watch the Eagles won a Super Bowl there a couple of years ago. Great TVs on the wall. Awesome service. You get the pool table, the darts. We've had events there before.
I couldn't agree with you anymore, right? Especially when you're at a sports bar. If you're drinking Coors Light, Miller Lite, Heineken, those bottles of beer have to be on ice. They cannot be in the little beer cooler with the seltzers and the craft beers. The Coors Lights, the Miller Lights, the Budweisers, and the Heinekens of the world have to be on ice.
They do, and they have them on ice at the pub. That's a great place. We had an amazing ceremony for a dear friend and local there who passed away. My uncle, I've talked about the show before, Chris Boyle, an absolute legendary human being and local, frequented the pub. And, we had a good sending off of him at the pub this past wintertime, or this past fall, I should say. So I digress. A great place, the Plumbsteadville Pub, just right outside of Doylestown. What else we got on the list? Another place that's a part of the, Doylestown community where I'm really from. The Candlewyck in Buckingham, Pennsylvania, bar and grill, bottle shop. I'll start with the side situation. So when I was in high school, I would roll in there and get a breakfast sandwich in the morning. I wasn't old enough yet, but if you were, you can buy a case of beer and walk out with it. You can get food to go. So that's the one side of it. The other side of it is the restaurant. Another place with awesome TVs, great bar food. The wings are off the chain. Absolutely love it there. But another place that's got salad. They got, all unique things. Cheesesteak egg rolls are so good. I've had the nachos before, and they have the big, buffalo chicken wrap. So good. They have a little bit of everything, and they have a big burger menu. It's been a great place with great specials for years. Cheesesteak night on Wednesday night, prime rib on Sundays. Like another place in the heart of Bucks County, super easy to get in and out of with great service, awesome people. Again, you can't beat these places in this area to grow up and grab a bite at. And for sure, the Candlewyck is a place I spent many times with my dad, watching college football, going for a family dinner. I used to bring wood football up there for wing nights. That was great too. So another place near and dear to my heart. And then, Mickey, I'll just run down the list here of these bars real quick.
Yes.
Who else we got here? Chambers, Farmhouse, the other side, Mesquite Grill, freaking best wings in Bucks County, baby. Love this place. Right across the street from Ventrescas. Hopscotch, a cool little place. I've had a little smoked cocktail in there before, a really good spot. Station Tap House right next to the train, which Mick alluded to, which is a great point by Mick. That train allows people to get on that train. At 7:30 in the morning, I would get on the train. I'd be in the city by 8:30. People will work by 9. That allows people to live up in Doylestown. And this is like a recruiting video for Doylestown. Half Acre is a good spot. 86 West. Station Tap House, PJ Willihan's, good spot. Poco's been there forever in the Battery. There's probably a few others I missed. If we missed them, send them our way. Great spots, man. Great spots. Another good bar and a really good restaurant that that was not on the list is the Cactus Grill. It's up out of Upper Bucks County, but great spot. Mary and her staff there are fantastic. Another place I grew up eating and having a wonderful time. The Cactus Grill is a great little restaurant. What do we got, Mick? Best pizza, cheesesteaks.
Oh my God, dude. Where do I begin? Well, where do you begin, Colin? And we just recently dropped the season 5.0 Sam Boner's top 10 cheesesteak list. And, let me just tell you, first and foremost, Bucks County representing hardcore when it comes to cheesesteaks. Again, that tradition has always been get on a train and head down to the city for a cheesesteak, take your son, take your daughter down there. And the times have shifted, right? Ever since the pandemic, people are a little less reluctant to go down to the city. And now you're starting to see cheesesteak places thrive in the particular counties. And in this case, we're talking Bucks County, we're talking Doylestown, and we're talking, Lucatellis. So shout out to Lucatellis in Doylestown, PA, Dave Sciano. Got a chance to meet Dave after my Sam Boner review. Look, I like to go in there. I'm a man of the people, Colin. I don't want to go in there and, give myself away, although they probably know who I was. As a matter of fact, they did know who I was. But you know what? I did a fair Sam Boner review. I posted up outside. I got the signage in there. And let me just tell you, knock my socks off, man. I mean, the thing was absolutely glistening. If you go back and look at the review, and the review did very well. There's a lot of comments in there, and it's a lot of love for Lucatellis right there in Doylestown, PA. The seeded John, the Cooper Sharp cheese, the good ribeye, but it was just well proportioned. It was like the perfect cheesesteak, fit right in that roll, easy to eat, went down like water. And, for that, they earned themselves a little top 10, Sam Boner's top 10 action. And I think there's more good things to come out of Lucatellis as we continue to just plow forward here in the Sam Boner hood.
As the leader of the Sam Boners, Mick, and as someone who, at the end of the day, you have a great pulse. You have the pulse on the Philly, cheesesteak scene. Yeah, people can talk about Cooper Sharp, and, we get that. We get your, have some knowledge of the Philly cheesesteak scene. That's great. But to make that statement is bold, and you're 100% right. Now there's no excuse to have a poor cheesesteak, really.
Yeah. No, and it's not easy, honestly, because, it's interesting. Well, it's not easy in Sam Boner, but it's not easy leaving places out, right? And
yep.
I'm going to go in and talk about Coach's Steaks because, you and I and Jack in the Back had just a grand old experience there not too long ago. And, for what it's worth, new ownership has taken this place over. in the early Samboner days, shout out to OG Samboner Drew, who lives in Doylestown. He went to coaches and it was good, right? It was very good, but it was average. It was,
It's your game day steak. I call it the game day steak.
Day steak.
You bring it back to the house for the kids. It's good. Everyone's happy.
Does the trick, sure. But, in this day and age, you want to be elite, right? So the new owner came in and he pivoted accordingly. He brought in the seeded rolls. He brought in the Cooper Sharp cheese. He's putting a little twist onto it. But in addition to that, just outside of cheesesteaks, like Colin, that hoagie you had, the Italian hoagie, was phenomenal. He's got some specialty Johns in there. The woman holding the desk up front, what was her name? Oh my God, what an absolute sweetheart. Like, the hospitality was there, tucked right in the borough of Doylestown. I mean, that's an experience, right? Whether it's before the game, after the game, during the game. Coaches, very respectable sandwich shop right there in Doylestown, PA, and they were in contention for a top 10 spot, and they could eventually earn one for sure.
Yeah, that's big praise, but I think it's right on point, Mick. Like you said, like, first off, you come in, took amazing care of you. There's like the locals in there that have lunch there. Like, we were there during the week. They're like the same local that's there during the week. They come every time, get what they want. They're asking about how our food was. They weren't even working there. Like, it's just that type of place where you get a cheesesteak and you like walk to the high school football game past the movie theater. It's right next to the movie theater in Doylestown. The place is great. So good on them.
Yeah.
Place is fantastic. Can't wait to go back.
All right. So the third place that pops out at me is Altomontes. And, the first location in Altomontes happens to be in Warminster, PA, right down the street from Archbishop Boyd. They open up a second location in Doylestown. Now, this is honestly where the Samboners cut their teeth, right? Look, we're a bunch of guys raising kids, traveling around different, youth sports facilities, and Altomontes just happened to be at our fingertips. So we're dropping Sambones from Altomontes left and right. But to this day, my parents still go to Altomontes. I go over, I own and operate an apparel company. My screen printers in Warminster, I drive by Altomontes all the time. It's almost like impossible not to stop into Altomontes every single week, Monday through Friday, dude. They have a new feature on the menu each day. Their recipes are, I don't know, they're curated by a culinary director and crafted by a sandwich artist, made to order, fresh for each customer. Like, the display in there, dude, like, I always catch myself with my camera. Like, I'm just taking pictures. I don't know why. It's just the food is so good. Go there for lunch. You can order ahead of time online, quick pick up, order in store. When it comes to the bread game, they're not just doing like your traditional seeded rolls. They have different types of bread: Altamari bread, semolina rolls, Rosetta rolls, steak rolls, all made from scratch, man. All made from scratch. And again, just like the daily specials, they're slow roasted porchetta with the herb, lemon, aioli, pickled red onion, arugula, fresh Rosetta, the roasted pork, aged sharp provolone. I told the girl the other day, I was like, I got to stop in and get that hot roast pork. It's hot roast pork month, and it just looks absolutely to die for. The hot and crispy chicken cutlet on a fresh bake focaccia with some sopressata, broccoli raw. Wow. Are you kidding me?
You got a vowel in your name?
Is one of the greatest Italian market delis in all of Bucks County.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the place is just built different. The one in Doylestown, it used to be a former car dealership. It's the size of a car dealership. It's unbelievable. And that's the one I've been to the most. I've been to one in, Warminster as well. Yeah. Never forget, man, my buddy in high school, shout out to Fitz, Mr. Fitz. We come home, he'd have the tray of the chicken parm. He'd pick it up, whatever it was. Wednesdays was chicken parm day, and you'd order it in advance, and it'd come with a salad and a loaf of bread. And we would just scarf down the chicken parm in high school. Like, I'll never forget it. It's when I hear Altomontes. That's right.
I stand there in their cutlet. I stand there in their cutlet outside, and it was good, man. Solid. Holidays,
right? Boom. You got to go there. You just have a great time. You're just rolling. You're just filling the cart up. And then, of course, for the Eagles, like pregame stuff, like you want to make sandwiches and all, like the finger foods, the apps, out of this world.
Yes, sir. Keep doing what you're doing, baby.
Yeah. Love what they got, man.
Yeah, and then, there's other places that are on the list: Puntino, Delizia, Villa Capri, Dominic's. Dominic's is legendary. Everybody goes to Dominic's, orders their pizza from Dominic's. What else they got? The Salt Box, Nat's Pizza, Sopranos. There's another, dude, Bucks County, through and through. They're keeping it real. I'm sure they're still doing the American cheese with just the non-seeded rolls, but there's nothing wrong with that. Sopranos has been doing it for years. Jules Thin Crust is on the list. Good little chain there. So, Doylestown through and through.
I got to remember Spatola's. That's a good little spot. It just popped into my head. I'm like, we got to add them.
No, when I said Sopranos, I was thinking, oh yes, Spatola's. Dude, is that Warrington or Doylestown?
There's one off of Cold Spring Creamier Road, and there is a Sopranos too, I believe, or Sopranos. We're off the rails here, but
Absolutely.
There's one off of Cold Spring Creamier Road, right where I went to elementary school. They have a buffalo chicken pizza that's literally to die for. It's like creamy. It's out of control. They like shred the chicken in a blender. It's a whole thing. And then they have one in Chalfont, Mick. So it's like there's 2 locations on each side of really the heart of the borough downtown. Yeah. The Jules Thin Crust one is interesting too because they have a gluten-free pizza. So that's like a big one where people order that like in mass quantity because it's that good.
That's not very Sam Boner-esque there, Colin.
No, but Mick, some people are gluten-free in this world.
I hear you.
You have a gluten-free month.
It's all good in the hood.
We need a sober month and a gluten-free month and a salad month. Can we get those? Can we squeeze those in?
I think we would probably get banned off of the internet if we did that.
We'd be belly up. All right, the restaurants. I mentioned the Cactus Grill already, another place that's fantastic. And we're not like going to touch on like New Hope and Pillar's Village. That's a whole nother episode coming. It's a whole nother part of the world. And we're going to get down to Lower Bucks where Mix from and all those places. So Omeza, Vila, the Hattery, 86 West, Villa Capri. Let's see. Thormani Star, Lily's, Pentap. Let's see. Sam Boner Drew Burger. Okay, I like this. I see in the notes here.
Oh yeah. Sam Boner Drew made a nice little Sambone from the Pentap room.
Sam Boner Drew is my favorite Sam Boner, I think.
Oh, dude. We got to get him back. I think he's working on his mustache right now, so he's preoccupied trying to grow out the Fu Manchu. Those handlebars are a big deal. So once I think he has that down closer to his chin, we'll get him Samboning again. But yeah, he posted up back there with the fam, the patio, and just did a nice little Samboner sesh with the crew, and the Pen Tap Room continues to do well here. I would love. I'm actually like salivating right now. I like want to take a car ride to Doylestown and just do it.
This is convincing me. I want to go up Sunday, see my mom. This is convincing me a little bit more to do it. So I could swing in Altomontes Sunday morning, pick up some goodies for maybe some football.
Hot roast pork, baby.
Yeah, I do need to get on that. It's different. You can't get that down in Maryland. I don't think. If somebody knows a hot roast pork place in Maryland, shoot us a message. But I digress. I'll finish up here. Giovanni's on steak, Uka, sushi, and hibachi, man, a staple in Doylestown since I was a kid. Casa Tora Mexican, Ember Steakhouse, Hachi, Holy Q's, good spot. Shout out to Chris Rahal for that suggestion. The Gardenville Inn. I'm going to add that in here. Little town, Gardenville, Pennsylvania. This old school hotel, bar. It's been there.
Gardenville, Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
It's a town?
Yes. Gardenville.
How many people?
Let's Google it.
How many people?
It's small. How many people are in
Chime
Gardenville?
in, Sam Boners. What do you think it's going to be? Less than 1,000?
Gardenville, Pennsylvania population. It's between it's near not even, it's a couple miles away from Towekan Middle School. It's let's see, Gardenville.
104 people.
No way.
104 people in Gardenville, PA.
Yep. 18902, the zip. 01's Doylestown.
Could that very well be the smallest city in the entire country?
No, there's some small ones, man, like out in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, for sure. Yeah, Gardenville, man. Look at that. History of it. Not a lot. There's nothing on it. It's right off of 413.
Look at that. Would you just look at it? Would you look at it?
Look at it. If you're going 413 and you take it all, you're halfway up 13 pretty much.
Look at this.
At the Wawa, you could take this from Wawa off of 413, you hit the Candlewyck, and then you keep moving. And you go up the hill there and you take it, you'll pass Gardenville, you'll keep going, you run right into the Cactus Grill. That's like Restaurant Avenue right there, up through Doylestown on the east side of town. But I digress. Yeah, Gardenville Inn. Doylestown Cafe is a good spot. All right, breakfasts. I just said that like my brother. Breakfast. Cross Keys Diner. I said it before the show. I think it's one of the best breakfast places on the planet. Old school Conti's Cross Keys. Old Penn State family. Great people, the Contis.
Shout out PSU.
That's right. Big game this weekend for Michigan State. We'll see what happens. I think Michigan. I think Michigan mops them up, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah.
Give me a break.
Nice collar. Okay, so Aunt Judy's, Oaks. There's a great little spot up in Upper Bucks that I had to throw in there. Nona's a good little coffee shop, Doylestown Bookstore, Bagel Barrel. And I don't want to put a chain on here, but I had to because their bagel's unbelievable. Just north of Doylestown, there's a Manhattan bagel there. You can argue it's one of the best bagels in the world. They got to be doing it differently than anywhere else. The guy behind there, he's been the same guy forever. He definitely doesn't do the recipe, and he makes them by himself.
It's all about the guy. It's all about the guy. Do we eat a
unbelievable
Manhattan bagel down in the city, Rittenhouse Square, where I worked 6 years? Best Manhattan bagel going. But there's others that it's all about the guy.
Dude, the guy, whoever that guy is. Holy shit.
You got a guy? You got a guy?
I got a guy. Listen, Ventrescas in Doylestown, a staple in Doylestown for men's clothing, an absolute staple for years. It brings back such great memories going there to get, all hooked up by Frank and their amazing team there. They've been doing it forever in Doylestown, Bucks County. Got prom getting done for that. Got the sport coat in Florida done for that. Maxwell Awards, rent the tux, done. I bought suits from them. It's your mom and pop suit shop, old school, done professionally, doing it forever. Ventrescas, right across from Nat's Pizza, Mesquite Grill, right up the street from CB West. Like, they have those Eagles nights where you go in and Brent Selleck's in there and John Dorenbos is in there and they're doing magic tricks and signing autographs and just some fond memories. And Ventrescas, it's the place to be for men's clothing in Doylestown. Fantastic spot to go to. Shout out to Frank and their team at Ventrescas. Listen, if you're looking for somebody in Doylestown to work with financially, there's nowhere else to go other than our friends at Wealth Advisory Services. WealthAdvisoryServices.com. Yeah. Listen, this place means the world to me. Like, Paul, Archbishop Woodgrad, Dave, and their team there have been in our court, like, literally since day one for my family in Doylestown, and allowed me to do so many amazing things. And the cool part is we'll walk to Chambers, which I mentioned on this list, right from his office. He's right downtown across from the courthouse there. So swing through and see them, wealthadvisoryservice.com. They just created a new brand. I walked in the office the other day, Live Zero Negative. This awesome clothing brand, just born in Doylestown. This about positive mindset and all these cool things that we're trying to do here at the Sam Boners. Just great, great people. Check them out. They've been just amazing to us and my family. Retirement, post-career for me, setting money away while I'm in the league, working with players in and out of the NFL, coaches in and out of the NFL, local businesses. Wealth Advisory Services has been awesome to me and my family. Wood guy too. Can't beat those wood guys, man. A lot of wood guys in Doylestown.
Yeah, you know what? Wood is representing, buddy, for sure.
That's right. Damn right it is. All right, brother, let's wrap this things up. I put things to do on our list here because there's a lot, but Fawn Hill, that castle's so cool. The Mercer Michener Art Museum is so cool.
That's what Doylestown's known for, is that Mercer Museum.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, there's things to do for kids and all that stuff.
Kids Castle, baby.
Kids Castle. Shout out.
I love the Kids Castle.
Dude,
there's nothing better. These kids always want to go to the freaking trampoline parks and whatnot. Like, no, we're going to Kids Castle. The Kids Castle costs nothing.
Yeah, it's free.
We're gonna have fun. There's actually a unbelievable sledding hill right there too.
Huge hill.
Huge.
Yeah, it's a good place too. It's a good place for mom and dad to sit with a cooler, watch the kids. A couple beers, a couple hoo-has, as they say. I put, SEPTA, all the transportation is great, and between Doylestown Airport, Doylestown Hospital, not that you want to be at the hospital, but it makes it a big town, and I think it's a part of the kind of story there because it's a big ass hospital for a small town. So, listen, Doylestown's it's a great place near and dear to my heart. We appreciate everyone who supported this show. It's a good town, man. It's a good town. Yeah. I can't wait to be back Stambone. Coaches was a fantastic experience. Great people in there, man. Great people in there.
Yeah. Also, we didn't talk about the Monkey's Uncle too. Great place to pick up old Philadelphia sports swag. Monkey's Uncle, man. Great little spot.
That is a good little spot. I haven't heard that in a minute. Yeah. But just through the corridor there, anything around the Starbucks and all, Lucatellis is a good spot too. And I used to shop at that Gap all the time as a kid, and Ventrescas all the time. No, it's weird. It's a staple there. It's just weird stuff. It just brings you back to the good old days, man.
Absolutely.
So, listen, another episode down, Mickey. We're rocking and rolling here. Doylestown, had to cover it, man. Had to cover it. I don't know what's next. Maybe Peddler's Village for the holidays would be fun.
Well, let me get, what's the story with Michigan? You really think Michigan's going to hammer Penn State this weekend?
I do.
On their own turf? Under 110,000 crazy Penn State fans?
Yeah, they'll be in bed still.
I think the home field is a bigger advantage in college sports than it is in the NFL.
Way bigger. But the problem is you see more lopsided victories in college because there's not as much parity.
Is Michigan that good? Ugh.
Yeah, they are. They are. I think what's the line? What's that number? I don't get really into that stuff. 4 or 5 or what?
Michigan's actually favored 4.5, something like that. Yep.
Yeah, so that's a touchdown. So yeah, I think they win by a touchdown or more.
Dave Armstrong's your honorary captain, though.
Dave, baby. Yeah, I mean, Dave's Wood now killing it. They had a down year, but they'll be back. Yeah, Doylestown's finest, man. So
good stuff.
Appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate everyone who supported the show. Sam Boner out.
Sam Boner out.
Pop that Sam Bone, and baby, it's on.